fix a snack and eat. And one time I got her out of the house, took her for a ride, and we went and ate lunch. But that's the only time I got her out of the house. But again, I went to California on vacation and came back, and she was in the hospital and never came out.
Okay, well now that you're taking care of me, don't ever go to California.
But you know, when you do something for somebody, you see such an improvement in them. You know, it's like, I thought they were doing so good.
Well, that's what happened when we took Grandpa. You know,
Yeah.
he was terrible. We took him. He started getting better and better, and then went back in and died.
Yeah, it's, you just don't understand.
Yeah. I kind of felt like he needed a reason to live, and when he went back, he just
Well, yeah.
had no reason.
Wasn't no reason.
Did he have to go back?
It was his son didn't like him living with us.
Did
So-
he only had the one son, right?
Too.
Oh, he had two. And the son, didn't he live in California only up further?
Yeah, I think somewhere. He was all over the place. I don't know. But the last time I heard about him, he lived in Prescott.
Oh,
But the one that was wanting his money was here for a while, and
oh,
Santa Ana or something. I don't know. He was all over.
yeah, I thought that he lived in California when
He might have.
Grandpa Byers went up there.
He might have. I don't remember exactly. I try to forget the
Yeah.
bad memories.
Oh, yeah. That's the reason when I was reading that, you know, because I don't try to write bad things. I mean, I didn't sleep last night. I didn't sleep last night. I didn't sleep last night. It's like, come on. I'm sure your grandkids want to read that every day. I didn't sleep last night.
So what'd you learn about Grandma?
She
She
didn't
couldn't
sleep.
sleep at night.
Thing of it is, I still don't sleep without my medication. I guess I don't like sleeping.
Waste of time.
Too much to do. So what's your very earliest memory?
When my sister was born, I was 5 years old, and I remember my Grandma Hall being there, and to keep me out of her way, she gave me a pan of water and a cloth, and I was cleaning the floor. And then a little bit later, my other Grandma Kane came and got us kids and took us to her house. And when we came back, we had a baby sister. That's the first real thing that I remember as far as knowing an age and that.
And how old would you have been?
5. No, I'll take that back. I remember other things back further, now that I'm thinking about it. I remember when Dale was a baby. I don't know exactly how old I was, but I know he was a baby. And, of course, living back east, we heated with coal. And sometimes we didn't have coal to heat with. And Mama would keep us kids in bed until it was a little warmer. Then she would take us out and sit in the car with us, because the sun shining through the glass warmed up the car, and that would keep us warm. And Edgar and I would be in the back seat just having a ball, and Mama would be sitting in the front seat with Dale and reading or whatever she did. But I remember doing that also, and I was a little over 3 years old, I guess.
And where did you live?
It had to be Indiana. I don't know what town, but I do remember that. I remember playing in the car. And I remember as a kid, we had this house. Daddy worked in a wrecking yard, and it wasn't too far from the house. But Edgar locked Mom in the closet, and we couldn't unlock the door. So we had to run all the way to the wrecking yard and get my daddy to come home and get Mom out of the closet. And then Edgar and I locked ourselves in a trunk upstairs. We were playing, and we got in the trunk and the lid came down. And of course, I guess the latch must have fell over and hooked. And we were yelling and kicking, and Mother thought we fell out the upstairs window, and she ran outside. And when she didn't see us out on the ground, then she ran upstairs. And that might have been, Dale might have been born then too. I don't know. Don't remember that. I just remember we locked ourselves in a big old chest. But we like to go down to the wrecking yard because they take those cars apart and they have cushions sitting out, and they were trampolines. We didn't know what they were called then, but we had trampolines. And we would drive cars. We weren't going anywhere, but we were driving them. We'd come home mighty dirty, but we had a good time. It didn't cost us a dime. That's why I said, it's sometimes if you give a kid the box that the toy comes in, they have more fun than with the toy. Yep, those are days that I remember as a kid. And I did in that book that Christy had given me, and I was just sitting here reading it, one of our memories when we had to go to Yuma because Daddy was so sick, and I don't remember the whole detail of the thing. I probably was about 7, I'm thinking then, because I think I was in about the 2nd grade of school. But my daddy, I don't know how much he paid for this car, but it wasn't very much. And he was too sick to work on it, so he laid on the front seat and told my uncles what to do to fix up the car. And we headed to Yuma from Indiana this way. And at one place that we stopped to eat, we had to stop at night because Daddy was so sick. We'd find the cheapest motel because we had to stop at night so Daddy had his rest. But we ate, we'd stop at the grocery store and get bologna and meat or something like that. Mom fixed the sandwiches and stuff, and that's how we ate. And we would find a shady spot to pull off, and she would put a blanket out on the ground, and we would sit on the ground, and she'd fix us something. We'd sit there and eat, and she'd kind of clean the car out. Well, us kids all got the chicken pox, or the measles, one, I'm not sure which, while we were on our way to Yuma. But we survived. But while we were at this one place, and we were sitting, and we did not hear anybody come up, but all at once we heard somebody say, "There, Washif, what's doing?" And we looked up, and here's this big Indian guy standing there, scared us half to death. Anyway, I don't know how they communicated, but Mama offered him something to eat, but he wouldn't eat what he wanted some coffee. Mom had made some coffee, and he wanted some coffee, but he pointed to a can that Mama had opened that had pork and beans or something other in it, so Mama rinsed it out and poured coffee in it, and he drank it out of that. And I really don't know if he ate anything else, but some things he didn't want. I think Mama said like it was bacon or something he didn't want. I think it would maybe if it was salty or something or other. But anyway, when he went to leave, he went to give Mama a turquoise bracelet. And because Mama didn't wear jewelry, she didn't take it. And we have no idea, that probably would have been worth enough money to keep us 3 or 4 months. but we didn't realize that. But
What did he say again?
Vel, was she? For sure? For sure? And I guess the Vel Wachi is hello there or something.
Okay. Well, we not got 4 children out of that.
But that was kind of exciting. Of course, we were scared. We didn't know. You know, you heard about the Wild West and the Indians and cowboys, and we didn't know if we was going to get scalped or. But that had memories. That trip left memories in my mind too. I remember Daddy couldn't work, and Mama had to go, but you didn't go out and get a job like you do today. She went door to door and house cleaned and did people's laundry and their ironing and stuff, and Mama did that, and she was told that she could have this housekeeping job, and so she told another lady that she did the laundry for, that she wouldn't be coming to do her laundry because she had this full housekeeping job. And so something fell through. I don't know what happened, but that didn't work out. So Mama went back to this lady, and this lady said, "Oh, Mrs. Kane," she said, "I feel so horrible." I said, I got another lady to do the job. And of course, Mom just broke down and cried because we didn't have any money. And she said, "Well, just come in and let's go in and pray." And so she went, her mom went in this room and prayed, and they got from praying. She told Mama, she said, "The Lord told me to give this to you," and she went, come back and gave Mama like $20. Her mother was so excited, and she went out the door to tell Daddy, you know, she had this money. And Daddy could hardly wait because he had us and the kids out in the car, and some guy had come up out there and said, "Are you Mr. Kane?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "I hear you're living down there in that little old shack that's got cement floors, and you have no business being down there." And he moved us into another little house and went and got carpet and stuff out of his parents' basement and brought, and I can remember it was around Christmas time, they came with a pickup truck and backed up, and they had groceries galore in the back of that truck, and they had little gifts for each one of us kids, and they were these little paddle with the little balls attached to them. We just thought we were just in seventh heaven. I mean, we just had it made. So those are real memories as a kid growing up. That's what I tell my grandkids. I said, if we was to have another depression, you guys would starve to death. Because they make fun of me eating anything. Oh, you eat anything, Grandma, even if it's spoiled. Well, let me tell you something. If we have another depression, you guys will starve to death. But I'm telling you, God's brought us through a lot. Many things. That time, both of my brothers broke my arm. Did I tell you that time? I was, my older brother, Edgar, had went somewhere, and he had a bicycle that he worked for and paid for himself. And I wanted to ride the bicycle. So while he was gone was my chance to ride the bicycle. So I went and got it, went down and got my girlfriend, and we went for a ride on my brother's bike while he was home before I got home. And he saw me coming. At that particular time, that was in Salamone, Daddy had a garage, and it was a filling station. It was where you, not filling station like we have it today. There was gas pumps out that you had to pump the gas up into the tank to get it out. And Mom had a little cafe-like thing in there. And there was a little waiting room that people could sit in while Daddy worked on their car or whatever. And anyway, I was pulling up there by those gas pumps and it was gravel. My brother grabbed the handlebars and I went flying. And everything came down on top of me. And there was 2 doctors in this little town. I don't know why they needed 2, but there was 2 doctors in this little town. Mama took me to one, and he said, no, her arm isn't broke. It'll hurt for a while, but it'll be all right. Well, I cried all night long. So Mom took me to the other doctor. The other doctor said, no, it's not broke. Well, at this particular time, Daddy had a finger that wouldn't stay in place. And he was trying to work on cars, and it kept jumping. So he was going into this town called Portland to go to a doctor to see what was wrong with it. So he said, get Rita-Belle ready, I'm taking her with me. And at that time they did what they called fluoroscopes. It wasn't an x-ray, but it was similar to that. You could see your bones. Well, this little bone in my elbow was broke off. And they had to work it back, and they put it in a cast, but not a cast like you have now. It was a metal thing that they just laid my arm in and bandaged it, because every time I went back to the doctor, they kept fluoroscoping it. Well, they told Dad, they didn't tell me this, but after a couple of weeks, they told Dad that if there wasn't a big change in my arm, they was going to have to break it and reset it, because the way it was growing, I would never use my elbow again. So I was sitting in this little waiting room and off of the garage in a big overstuffed chair. And my younger brother, Dale, decided he wanted to sit in this chair. And I wasn't going to get up and give it to him, so he crawled up behind and pushed me out of the chair. And what did I land on? My elbow. But the good part of that was when Dad took me back to the doctor, it had already broke and slipped back in place. He got a Dad whipping, but my arm got set right. Then like we didn't have a lot of toys, and we had one roller skate. And the roller skates then were the kinds that you can tighten so you could wear any size on any foot. And they also would come, the foot, the toe and the heel would come completely apart. It had a little screw that held it together. That's how you adjusted the length of it. And my brother would take the thing apart. He made a skateboard before skateboards was ever heard of. He'd nail one end of that on one end of the skate on one end of the board and the other end on another. And we had a skateboard.
We had a trampoline and skateboard. We're supposed to be rich. What are we doing here?
We did. We just made all kinds of toys like that. Need something to drink, Alan?
I'm good.
Are you getting hungry?
No. I'm still full from breakfast.
Well, you didn't eat that much. It's got to be another couple hours before we eat.
That's fine with me. Really, I'm not hungry at all.
I feel like you need some water or something, though.
you were actually born in Indiana?
Yes. I was born in a little town called Saratoga. I don't remember that though.
Well, not too many people remember being born.
Yeah, born in a little town called Saratoga.
And then you guys went to Yuma?
Well, we did several times, not just to Yuma. I mean, we went to Yuma. I remember that one time going to Yuma. We come to Phoenix a couple times. A couple of winters, Daddy came by south because we couldn't all afford to come. But then in 1946, Daddy was real sick, and the doctor told Mother, if you want this man to live much longer, you've got to get him out of this climate. Because Mama's family was all back there. Well, Daddy's was too. And so it's really hard to come. It wasn't so hard to come and spend a winter, but I mean, she gets so homesick, and then we'd go back. But that year, then Mom said, "Well, we're going to stay." So we bought a house trailer, and Mama put our clothes and dishes and what she could in the trailer, and then we had a sale. An auctioneer came and auctioned off the rest of our stuff. And we came to Phoenix, 1946, and been here ever since.
Has it changed at all since 1946?
It's changed a lot since 1946. A lot.
I know it's changed a lot since 64.
Yeah,
We moved here in 64.
yeah, we used to go downtown to go shopping. I mean, all the stores was downtown. There was a streetcar that you rode. We'd ride the streetcar. Now all of that's gone. Oh, but they're getting a light rail.
So where did you live? Like,
When we first came here, we lived in a trailer court down on Buckeye Road. And I don't know, it was about 18th, 19th Avenue, along in there somewhere. It's kind of where it curves. I think it was 19th Avenue kind of curved onto Buckeye Road. They had a trailer park there. And it was, at that time, it was Mama and Daddy and me and Lois, which was Edgar's wife. He was in the service. He was in Japan. And Dale and Barbara. We all lived in this little 27-foot trailer. And then Daddy bought a house on Grant Street off of 27th Avenue, I think. Maybe it was 25 something or other. Grant Street. And it was an unfinished house. It had, not sure if Daddy put the doors and windows in or if they were in there, but it had petitions, but it didn't have no bathroom. I mean, it had a bathroom petition, but there was no fixtures, no sink in the kitchen, no, nothing. It was just the framework there. And Daddy put a stool in there, and for beds, we had springs on bricks and a mattress on top of that. And that was our bed. Mama, from some place she found, bought umbrella table. It had a hole in the middle of it to put an umbrella in. We didn't have the umbrella, we had the table, that's what and we sat on orange crates to eat. And eventually Daddy was able to get a sink and put in the kitchen. We took a bath in a wash tub. We washed our clothes in the wash tub with a scrub board. And eventually Daddy added this and he added this, and that's where we lived when you were born.
Without credit cards?
Without credit cards, we did this. We had a lot of scorpions there. That's why we put the springs on, not set them on the floor, we put them on bricks. I don't know, could they crawl up a brick?
Yeah.
Because I know the baby bed, we set the legs in jars and had water in them, so they wouldn't get in the crib.
Well, chances of them climbing up a glass jar would be less than climbing up a rough brick.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think, I just now thought of that, couldn't they climb up a brick?
It was just the fact that they would have to have gone like in the where the bricks were located versus
Yeah.
the entire bed.
Yeah,
Kind of
where,
limited their access.
that had to ran into the brick to climb
Yeah.
up the brick.
Right.
Where if they didn't run into it, they might have right under.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago, Dale and I were trying to figure out all the places we've lived, where we went to school, and it's hard when you, because Mom and Daddy, as far as I know, didn't own a home until we moved out here, and us kids, well, they had the mobile home, but as far as owning a home, I don't know if they owned a house until they lived there on Fillmore and 27th. And we might have owned the one on Montebello, I'm not sure. Or we might have rented, but we always rented. So if the people we were renting off of decided they wanted different renters in there or wanted to sell it or whatever, we had to move. You didn't sign leases. So it was like we was always moving, changing schools. It wasn't like Mom and Dad was driving us clear across town to go to the same school.
Do people do?
We move in a different place, you go to a different school. It's the way it is. I don't care if you went to school with that person 2 years.
Yeah, I take it there's more to this story. Some modern day influence on it.
I didn't like it.
Turn that off.
I didn't like it because I wasn't real good. Everybody called me redhead, freckle-faced, four eyes. So I was always kind of backward. But that didn't make any difference. I still had to change schools. And one time we even went to a one-room schoolhouse. That was kind of a neat experience too. You have 8 classes in one room. But we, teacher had a little bench up front, and each class took their turn of coming up, sitting on the bench and having their study. That was interesting. That was where the teacher hit Dale upside the head with a book and knocked him out of his seat, and then my daddy went down to the school. He told him, he said, if I have to, I'll get me a ball bat and I'll come and take care of you. I'll get me an equalizer, he said. what Dale done, but did something. And he probably was ornery, always was,
Probably.
but the teacher didn't have any business hitting him, but that was the point. That's what Daddy's point was. My kids need a paddling, you paddle them on the rear end. And if we got a paddling at school, we got one when we got home. And we had, there was enough of us in the school that Mom and Dad found out about it too. That was disrespectful to them. And of course we had the cleanest outdoor toilet in the town because I was scared to death of spiders. And I was out there scrubbing the toilet all the time. Everybody said we had the cleanest. That's because I had my little bucket that had hot soapy water in it, and I had a broom, and I was scrubbing that place down. And my brothers, we'd catch these daddy long legs and throw them on me.
Uncle Dale and Uncle Andrew used to do that?
Yeah, we did that. I wonder where Rob got the thing of throwing a moth on Nancy Lee. It didn't come natural. I mean, it came natural. It's inherited.
Orneriness is in our bones.
You can shut that thing off
You don't want to tell no more stories?
now.